Hey guys, good morning. This is Ben, the Outdoors Air Gunner, and I am out here to bring you guys another edition of the Shooting Gear Reviews versus videos. Today I've got a couple of guns that a lot of people have been asking for me to make a comparison on, and we're talking about the Umarex Gauntlet and the Gamo Urban. These are two entry-level PCPs that are both very popular, both very well made, got a lot of stuff going for each of them, but is there a winner? Stay tuned and you're going to find out if one of them comes out on top in the Shooting Gear Reviews, Gamo Urban versus the Umarex Gauntlet. Here we go. Okay guys, so here we are. Gamo Urban, 22 cal, Umarex Gauntlet, 22 cal. Now these guns are both, obviously they've got some similarities, 22 cals. They've both got a sort of system to make them quieter. They both have a magazine, so we've got multi-shot capability here with both of them. And you know, there's a couple other similarities, but really, other than that, these guns start to differ vastly. Now, picking them up, you can definitely feel that this Gamo Urban is a little bit lighter, but just how much lighter? You know what, when I did the weight test, this thing came in at just about 8.5 pounds as configured here with this Hawk scope, whereas the Umarex Gauntlet with this MTC optic came in at 9.9, almost 10 pounds. That extra 1.5 pounds, you can really feel the difference just holding it. The other thing that makes the big difference with feeling that weight is this Urban is so much shorter. Holding it right here like this, you can shoulder this rifle. You could take a decent shot offhand, just standing there shouldering the rifle. It's not bad. It's much shorter. It tucks the weight back into your shoulder. It's got this pistol grip here, so it's actually very comfortable to hold this way. I like this rifle for that aspect. Now coming over here to the Gauntlet, being that extra 1.5 pounds heavier, being so much longer, and it does have a comfortable grip, but it puts your hand at more of a backwards sort of an angle rather than just being able to comfortably fit straight down on it. So to shoulder this, you're really stuck in somewhat of an uncomfortable position, and it's not that it would be impossible to take an off the hand shot with this, but just not necessarily preferred. I think that to, you know, really get my best accuracy, do the best job for this gun as I could, I would want to have either a bipod or some shooting sticks, something like that attached to it, so that or supporting it, so that, you know, you'd be able to get the gun a little bit more stable, because there is so much more weight out here towards the muzzle. As long as I'm holding this Gauntlet, I will go ahead and point out the fact that it does have included swivel studs and an adjustable cheek riser on the stock, something that the Urban does not have, which I enjoy. I enjoy being able to put a sling on the thing. I also enjoy being able to customize it just to fit me perfectly, as I'm sure some of you guys out there would. So that's definitely something to consider as far as when you're looking at this Gauntlet here. Going back over to the Urban, we see that it does not have swivel studs. It does not have an adjustable cheek piece, although it is nicely sort of shaped here. It's not uncomfortable at all to get your eye relief there through the scope. Of course, both of them are a bolt action. Now, right out of the box, a lot of people say that the Gauntlet is pretty stiff, and that is true. I've got the 25 cal, and it is especially so right out of the box. It does break in, and it gets a little bit better, but that bolt is stiff. Now on this Urban, the bolt is not quite as stiff. However, it's still a rear bolt, and you know, so neither of them has a super clear advantage over the other one as far as the action's concerned. You know, neither is like a side lever or something like that, but the bolt on this Urban, it is a little bit easier to work, definitely, for sure. Kind of continuing here with the Urban, you know, the quality of the build here and just the overall sort of configuration, I think that this has a slight edge over the Gauntlet as far as in quality. You know, the action here and the fact that obviously it comes with the barrel band, you know, it's always had this barrel band, that's cool. The just the overall sort of fit and finish of the thing is more like what you'd find on some of the higher end air guns rather than on the Gauntlet. Seems sort of, I don't know, I don't want to call it hodgepodge together, but it's sort of like a conglomeration of just stuff that works together rather than a well designed, well thought out you know, little piece like this. Now this is also made in the UK, whereas the Gauntlet, not so much made in China. Not that they can't make anything good in China, but this is a Chinese made air gun. It's got just your regular generic bottle on here. You know, not that this action is bad or low quality, it's just like I say, the bolt is a little bit more clunky, little more grindy, harder to operate. You know, I mean, really guys, you're not gonna pick one or the other for that purpose, but I just figured I'd throw that out there. Now, we'll sum this up and then we'll go ahead and get to the testing. The one kind of cool thing about the Gauntlet being made out of just this sort of hodgepodge, just kind of a configuration of parts, is that this bottle, you can actually get replacement bottles here. You can get replacement regs, and what that would allow you to do is, if you wanted to, you could put a longer bottle on here, store more air, get even more shots. You could get a higher pressure reg and get a little bit more power out of the thing. So it has that kind of customizability with it, where Gamo Urban, not so much. You know, I mean, I'm sure if you were a gunsmith, you could do that kind of stuff here, but it's not just going to be something where, oh, you just twist off a bottle, pop on a new reg, twist it back on, you're good to go kind of a thing. This, you're going to really have to take it apart and do some major tinkering. So anyways, guys, there they are. They both have 10-shot mags. They both run on PCP air. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get them filled up. We're going to set a target out here at 50 yards. You know, I'm not really sure who's going to come out on top. I haven't tested this yet, but I know that the Urban, as nice as it is, it does not have a regulator, whereas the Gauntlet, it is regulated. So that's a sort of, could be a major advantage for the Gauntlet in this comparison. Price wise, this is actually about $100 more than this. So maybe $100 doesn't make a whole lot of difference to some folks, but to some, I know it definitely would. And I guess that's about it for me talking. Let's go ahead, get the target set up, get these guns aired up, and let's do some shooting. Okay, so how does the Gamo Urban perform? Well, I'm getting a velocity of right around 760 feet a second with these Air Arms 16 grain pellets that I used for the test. I also am getting right around 30 shots per fill. Now, as far as accuracy goes, for this test I was shooting at just over 50 yards, and the group is alright, but it didn't really leave me super impressed. Now on over to the Umarex Gauntlet. This thing has got me pretty darn impressed as far as the shooting performance is concerned. I'm getting right around 840 feet per second with the same Air Arms 16 grain pellets. I'm also getting an astounding 75 to 80 shots per fill, and I'm also getting accuracy with these pellets that I think is pretty darn good. One thing to note is that when I use the JSB 18.13 grain pellets in this Gauntlet, I can even get better accuracy results than this at the same yardage. In some of the other videos I've shot using this gun, I've gotten about a nickel-sized group at 50 yards, which is impressive for a $300 PCP. Alright guys, well, the results are in, and you know, I was actually a little bit surprised by this test, because other than the weight category and sort of the comfort category with the little bit shorter stock, easier to hold design on this Gamo Urban, the Gauntlet won in every other category, which, I mean, I've shot both guns, just never side by side. And honestly, I wasn't thinking that the Gauntlet was going to do so much better than the Urban did, but it really did. It's got it beat in velocity, it's got it beat in shot count, and it's got it beat in accuracy. So like I say guys, only thing that this thing has really an edge on it as far as, you know, one versus the other is the form factor. They're both moderated. I couldn't tell really one being any more quiet than the other. You know, maybe the Urban just slightly, but it's also going slower. So, I mean, I guess that's it, guys. There you have it. Umarex Gauntlet comes out on top. This has been a whole lot of fun. I'm Ben, the Outdoors Air Gunner, outdoors having fun with my air guns, and I will see you guys in the next video.